Boy, you just completed week 1, and so you're going to have some new things to do now in week 2. Welcome back. Let's talk about what you did last week really quickly. So this was about water and getting hydrated. So you needed to track the water you were drinking. Maybe you're drinking in your bathroom right away when you get up. You've now got yourself a water bottle in the car that you're always keeping full. So you've always got water to be sipping on. Somehow you need to be tracking that you're getting no less than 8 glasses every day. Now, I want you to understand that this has to continue. You don't stop this now as we go into week 2. This is where you compound little changes on top of each other. So the water has to continue, okay? We needed you to have before photos, some measurements, and your weight, of course, written down. Your automatic body phone app, of course, downloaded. And you are going to let your coach know, why is it important for you to do this? What will keep you on your road? If you didn't do it, please still go back and do it, right? And then, of course, to be part of our Facebook group as well. Okay, week 2. So we have to talk here about metabolism and increasing metabolism. And when we have a good, healthy metabolism, our body will be lean. It will be healthy. I don't often use the word skinny when I talk in terms of our body, but I use the word lean. And we'll talk more about what that means. But metabolism, we're going to learn about that, and we want to get it to be a roaring, burning metabolism, right? And, you know, here it says 2% of your metabolism will drop as you age. Your genes only make up 5%. Okay, so there's 7. So, you know, we've got 93% of our metabolism that we have control over. Okay, so we're going to work on that this week. So, of course, let's talk about what metabolism is. All of the processes that take place in our body to sustain our life, right? It's like the breathing, the pumping of the blood. It's keeping your brain functioning. It has to do with turning food. You know, we eat into the energy our body needs, breaking it down so our body can use it. You can consider it the furnace of your body. The more you stoke that furnace, the leaner you will be, all right? The leaner and the healthier you will be. Okay, what are the keys to increasing metabolism? How do we do that, right? There's some very simple things that we can do. And remember, we've got control over 93% of our metabolism. So we're going to learn about the quality and the quantity of the food. So last week when we talked about how many calories are in a food, but then how much nutrition is in it. That's all about quality and quantity of your food. The breaking down of the foods we eat to give us energy. Okay, so exercise requires a higher metabolism. Eating breakfast increases your metabolism. Okay, we're going to learn about that. It's really a key one. Sleep, of course, influences metabolism. When we're continually deprived of sleep, our metabolism will slow down. It's amazing our body's innate knowledge to keep us alive. It will keep itself alive. And if we're under stress, such as like we're tired and no sleep, it slows burning calories down. So it will maintain enough to keep us living, right? So when we're under stress, as I say, your metabolism gets slower. And sleep is one of those things that will cause that. Certain foods will increase metabolism. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit more about your 2 skinny per day are an amazing way to give your body a jump start on metabolism, right? And, of course, we don't do all of this at once. Remember, it's one small change at a time, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing this week. We're going to learn a little bit more about quality and quantity of your food. You have to start being conscious of what you're putting in your mouth, and we're going to learn a little bit about that. So when I talk about that quality and the quantity, I like to use the word fuel. I know it's food, but, you know, we can think about food in so many different ways. Think about it as energy. Think about it as calories. Think about it as fuel for our machine, for our body. I know I thought about food as a very, very good friend, right? Bit of a love relationship with food, right? That's probably an unhealthy, even dangerous way to think about food. But when you think about food in terms of fuel and energy and calories, That's what it is for our body, right? Now, our bodies have a gas tank, right? Just like a car does. And we need so much energy in this machine to make it function throughout the day, right? Do you know how big the gas tank of your body is, right? I certainly don't know how much gas I have to put in my car. I've never looked at the gallons or the liters that I put in there, right? I don't know. And it would be cool, you know, when you're filling up your body, let's say you're eating, just like at the fuel tank, it's really nice that when my car is full, the little clicker goes off, right? And it stops putting fuel in, right? Now, when we're eating away, wouldn't it be nice if our mouth just kind of clicked shut? And that was like, oh, you're full, no more, right? Doesn't happen. You know, our body can continue taking it in and it stores it, but not like our car. If we continued throwing fuel into the tank, it would spill out onto the street. Now, our body doesn't do that. So it's important to know what the quantity is for your gas tank, right? How much do you have to put in there? So we're going to talk a little bit about the quantity here and talk about it in terms of weight loss. So understanding that fuel tank. So we've got this gal, her name's Rhona McD, and she eats only French fries all day. And in fact, she takes in, let's say, 3,000 calories. It's like the liters you put in your car, but we measure it in calories for our body. 3,000 calories. Now, so one day she wants to lose weight, so she starts to eat half the amount of French fries. So she only eats 1,500 calories. She just, all French fries, but she cuts the amount in half. She's going to lose weight, but to a certain pound, right? Certain poundage. And then it'll stop. She won't lose any more weight by doing that. All she's focusing on is the quantity. Okay? So let's talk about the quality of the fuel you're putting in your tank. So this is like, you know, like your diesel or your unleaded or whatever you put in, high grade, or it would be like even, would you put a can of Coke in the tank of your Porsche, right? That kind of fuel wouldn't work very well in your car. That's not the quality of fuel that Porsche needs, right? So let's talk about Rhona and what she does now. So again, she's got French fries. All day she eats them, 3,000 calories worth. But then she decides to continue to eat 3,000 calories per day. But now half of them are French fries and half are fruits and vegetables. She's also going to lose weight by doing this. She didn't change the amount of food she was eating. She just changed what she was eating. But she'll also lose weight to a certain point and then she'll stop. Okay? Now, combining both quality and quantity. This will be the best way to get the best results. And we're going to learn different ways to influence the quality and the quantity over the next 12 weeks for sure, right? So last week we had the water. This week we're going to focus a little bit on the quality and the quantity. So I'm going to go into a little bit now the science and the psychology. We talked a little bit about this last week, right? The science is that chemistry of how our body processes food and really what happens to it, right? But the psychology is, you know, our mind and what happens in our head as we have to make these changes. And I know that was probably my biggest roadblock, was the psychological part of losing weight. I had the science knowledge under, you know, my belt. I knew what I was talking about. But when it came to me actually having to make those changes, the struggles were in my mind, in my head, my excuses, all those things that I had to overcome. And so I'm gonna hope that we can do that each week as we talk a little bit about this. The key to achieving any goals, right, in any part of our life, and here we're talking about weight loss or fat loss, right? One of the big keys is how willing are we to change our point of view? So when you think about it, it's all the things you believe, right? And I also talk here about your why. Why are you doing this? You're doing this for a certain reason, right? And how important is it? What value does losing fat have for each of us? What's the value? What kind of value would you put on it? How would you describe it? right? And that point of view, how willing are you to change it, right? Does achieving this, weight loss goal, fat loss goal, does it meet my highest purpose in life? Does it meet my why? Does it lead me to my why, right, for doing this? Those are some, I know they sound like big questions, and it's important to start thinking about them now. Maybe you can't answer all of them now, but it's important to just start thinking them as we're going through the process and answer these questions honestly, and success is always within reach. So here's a little story. So this man owns a hardware store, and the door flies open, and this guy comes running in, and he's got his clothes are all torn up, and he's got a little bit of blood all over him, and he's really dirty, and he runs up to the counter and he says, I need 200 feet of good rope. And the hardware store owner says, okay, I've got it in the back, I'll go get it. When he's thinking, gee, this guy sounds a little odd, he looks crazy, maybe I can make some money here. So he brings out this 200 feet of rope, and he says to him, here you go, and it is $500. And the guy throws his credit card down on the counter and says, here, just run it. It's good. I'll come back later. I'll pick it up. He doesn't even wait to get it back, right? And he runs out of the store, and he goes over to the edge of this cliff, and he throws the rope down, and he pulls his daughter up, who they had fallen over. So what was the value of the rope for the man? Did he care what he had to do to get the rope? Not really. He'd have probably paid $1,000 to get the rope, right? And so the value was very high. It didn't matter what he had to do. You need to think about that in terms of, do you really want to do this? I will say things over the next few weeks that you might not believe, or you don't think are correct, or are different than what you think now, right? But how willing are you to put aside what you believe now to try and get something different? How willing are you to make some changes that might not be easy to get what you want? What's the value of that weight loss for you? Just like the rope story, right? Okay. So this week, some small changes. So we have to find out the quantity of the fuel you're putting in your tank in calories, right? But we're also going to explore quality. And this is a food journal. And I know a lot of people don't like this. I know it can be tough. I certainly didn't like doing a food journal when I first started. I think it because it kept me honest. I'll tell you now, I still track my food, right? I still track what I'm eating, but I've done it for so many years. It happens in a very different way now, right, that we can talk about. But for you getting started, you have to start your food journal, and I know when I was told to do a food journal, well, jeepers, I ate really well, right? And I took a really good looking food journal into the person who was helping me, and she said, this looks great. Is this really how you're eating? I'm not sure what I can help you with because it looks good. So I wasn't honest. So you need to be really honest here with your writing down. If you put it in your mouth, put it in your journal, right? And if you're drinking something, you put it in your journal. Write it down. Now, there's really 4 things that I want you to think about. This is a sample food journal. It doesn't have to look like this, right? But she's got the time. She's got what she ate and how much. And then she has some comments on how she felt, right? So that's what's in this food journal. So we're going to follow this type. And you can do your food journal at the end of the day, as long as you remember everything you ate and drank, or you can do it throughout the day. But this is very, very key. Your food journal is going to end up, it's going to end up being like a treasure map for you. We will learn a lot about ourselves by what we're doing here, okay? So I'll come back to starting your food journal again. But right now I want to talk a little bit about Skinny, our 2-ounce liquid shot, and just talk about why Skinny works. And the reason is how it's formulated. Our naturopath physician treats many, many people for, of course, many things, but a lot of it is lack of energy, wanting to lose weight, all those, things that 2 out of 3 North Americans are looking for. And so she put into Skinny all of the ingredients she knew will help people. So one of the things is the rhodiola rosea extract, and that's the plant. It's a little plant. It's an adaptogen, and for something to be called an adaptogen, what happens is It has to be non-toxic, so it's usually a plant substance, and it has to help our bodies deal with stress. So it balances the impairments of long-term cortisol. Cortisol is our stress hormone, right? So this rhodiola rosé helps balance that. It actually can help have an improved mood. Wow, right? A lot of people notice a decrease in belly fat, but as well, it can have an increase in oxygen uptake, a decrease in muscle damage. So for me, for an athlete, I like that. I like the belly fat too. But when I'm working out, so I will take a skinny before I head to the gym because it's going to increase the oxygen flowing through my blood. That's going to really help my muscles, but it also will decrease muscle damage. Very cool. Of course, it has something in it called Garcinia cambogia, which really is prevalent in news today. Not so much. I think it's been a while now, but it is an amazing product as long as you're getting it from the right source, which is the rind of the fruit. But what happens is it helps our body inhibit the production of fat. Like, that's pretty cool. Now, it also works to help balance our mood because it increases serotonin, which is our happy hormone. Again, we start to feel a little bit better. And it decreases appetite. It decreases emotional eating or those cravings that come along. So that Garcinia cambogia is a very cool ingredient. And then, of course, some raspberry ketones for increased thermogenesis. And that's just another word for metabolism, fat burning. It helps increase fat burning, the heat in our body, right, the furnace of our body. But it also helps decrease cravings and emotional eating. So Skinny, and this is just a few of the ingredients in Skinny, pretty awesome. So if you haven't gotten some Skinny, you might want to consider a sample pack. Your coach can help you get that, or your first case of Skinny, if you haven't ordered one yet, you can get free shipping. And I have this on the side up, the ingredients, and somebody actually tracked this for us on going and buying all the ingredients, what you would need, and to take the right amount of them, because Skinny is formulated on pharmaceutical doses, meaning it's a high enough dose to cause a change in your body, which when you go buy a product, they often don't give you the right dose to take to actually help you out. They want you to come back and keep buying it. So, they're not going to have you maybe take the right amount of it. But here, a 2-week supply of buying all the ingredients that are in Skinny, close to $150, right? And your case of Skinny is that $84, $85 plus your shipping and your taxes, right? And it's formulated in a way that is easy to take. You don't have to take 10 different ingredients, just that little 2-ounce liquid shot. So it's really, really good. Okay, week 2. So you're going to start a food journal this week. Get yourself a book. You have to write down what you eat, what time you ate it, how much you ate, and how you were feeling. And I want to see one day of your food journal on our Facebook group, or private message me or to your coach, and then I'll comment on it. I'm going to help you just looking at it and just quickly some small little changes. So again, before photos, get your phone app. And here now, maybe your Skinny has gotten to you, so you're going to take your Skinny twice per day. Your phone app's going to start telling you when to take it, usually around 9 a.m. and 2 p.m., mid-morning and that mid-afternoon, 2 Skinny per day, right? And I mean, Skinny is just going to give you the best shot at success here. You're going to be amazed at when you get on it consistently, how you feel. And I think one of the things is what people will notice is, they take it and then they kind of say, I don't think I notice a difference. It's when they stop taking it, they notice again how all of a sudden it's just not quite as sunny out, right? Their mood decreases a bit and their appetite increases, and especially cravings. So I just can't say enough about getting that Skinny and trying it, jumping right on that. And of course, again, why it's important for you to lose weight, right? We want to know a little bit about why that is for you. And believe me, we're probably going to, you'll be surprised at how similar it is for so many of us. But it's often unique to each of us as well. So thank you again for showing up for your week 2. Here's what you're doing. Make sure that you get a hold of your coach and ask questions if you need any help. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.